Right, year 10. This is the fifth recording now. This is moving on to page 5, and this is the focus group interview or questionnaire. Okay, so same as before, I'm going to let you see how to run through it. So the whole thing. So if we can just, so hopefully this one should be loading up for you. Yeah, there it is. Right. So, as always, on the bottom of the page, there is the link to the YouTube channel. Okay, so go to this YouTube channel. That is the DT is Mr. Sanders YouTube channel, and you can get access to all these videos for all the pages. So you can just keep on looking, and if you fall behind, then use these videos to get used to it, get back into it. Second page, that will be where the video for this will be. So if you just want to have a look at the presentation that you find on Teams, the video for this meeting now will be posted here. So that will just be via a YouTube link. So it still won't be a big file. As always, same format that I give to all of the pages. Okay, throughout your coursework, this is going to be the template that you're going to be working from. Okay, so I will give you a template later on for this page, and it's not ideal that you use that template, but I would prefer it that you mix it up a little bit. So change the boxes around a little bit, put little bits of your own stamp on the page. What I am giving you now is designed to be for approximately about a tag 7. Okay, so it's aimed at about a grade 7 up to a grade 9 page. This will suit quite a few of you in this group now. So our aim is that you go one above the tag that you are predicted for DT. So if you're a 6, then you aim for a 7. If you're a 5, then you aim for a 6 minimum. Okay, so that is why I'm pushing you now. So then if you put the work in now, when we come to do a little bit of corrections later on, it will be moving it up 2 grades. So you'll be in a much better place come the exam. Something you're familiar with now, the coursework timetable. 6th of June, so 6th of July, is the primary user interview deadline. So obviously I can extend that up to Friday. I want you to be coming in to the lesson on Friday when you're in school with the primary user interview complete. You can leave the focus group part until the lesson on Friday. I don't mind if you come to the lesson on Friday and you have that still to do. I've set aside times on Friday for the focus group interview to be completed. If you just want to make yourself aware of what is going on that page, then that would be great. Deadline for the focus group is Monday the 13th. So if we get that done within Friday's lesson, and we can move on then to the product analysis. This is due in just when we break up from school. Okay, so we break up on the 17th, I think. And I've set the deadline there for the 20th, but I really would like the product analysis to be complete. As ever, all pages must follow the following rules. A4 page needs to be a size 10 font, has to be a size 10 font. You get more information on the page with a size 10 font. Don't want to see size 16 fonts, 18 fonts on there. They look ugly, and also you won't get enough information on there. All of the pages must have an introduction, must have a page at the section at the top that just gives a brief overview of the page. They must have a conclusion. You must have the next steps at the bottom. Okay, all that is within the template that we'll be going through. All pages must use the same font. Only change the font if you're to enhance a title or a section within the page. Okay, when you enhance it, I only want that to be bold, italic. Change the fonts, maybe change the size up one notch. So if you go from a 12, go to a 14, 10 to a 12, just to make it enhanced. The decoration of the page must be kept the same as well. So you cannot, I don't want to see if you've gone for an all colour page down to a black and white page. Okay, keep it all the same as you go along. Minimal white space on the page as well. So when we say white space, we mean no massive gaps on the page. So I would count on here, there's no white space on this page because we have put all the text on there. There's no big gaps within there. I don't mean cramming all the work together so it all runs into one another. You have to be sensible within what you class as white space and what is classed as just cramming everything in. So the focus group, I've got 4 examples coming up of focus group pages. None of them are what I would class as a grade 9 focus group page, because parts are lacking. Some are lacking in some parts, some are lacking in other parts. All of them, however, are grade 7. So they are of the A grade standard, but none are of the A star standard. You can see this person has an introduction on the top, who their stakeholder is. They've got the link. They have they've chosen 6 key questions off their, or 7 key questions, sorry, off their questionnaire. That could have been all of them, but they've chosen 7 questions here. They've got the results and they've also got some analysis. Some parts of the analysis is not as deep as others, but they've still put what they think of that. That is all that is required. They've got the evaluation as well and the next steps. This one is a little bit deeper. They've got the introduction. They've got the different methods and who they are going to be looking at giving this questionnaire to. They've chosen more of the questions to analyse. Now, that is not necessary. As I said, you only need to put in 5, maybe 6 different questions that are key to your research. But you need to make sure that all of them have the title, the results of the questionnaire, and then the key to what these sections within the pie chart mean. This person, although it was a 7, it was only just a 7. He has put in all of the analysis within different parts of his writing. Now, this isn't how I want this page to look. Okay, I don't like the look of this page. There's too much going on in too many different places. However, he has followed all the protocol. He's got the link. He's got the different people he's going to be interviewing. He's got the results. He's got the analysis here. This one is a nice one. He's got an example of why Google Docs is a good form of what he's doing. He's got the analysis to his questions. He's got who his stakeholders were. Not as deep as I would like, but it's mentioned within that. So this is your page. This is what I want your page to be looking like. You've got the title, stakeholder interviews, stakeholder questionnaire. Could be anything you want, okay, along those lines. The brief introduction. So we all know what needs to go into a brief introduction. Just running over within this page, I'm going to be looking at asking my stakeholders key questions that will give me research, that will give me valuable information to add to my research to aid my progression within the project, something along that. The detailed introduction, these are the key points. Okay, so this will explain the purpose of a focus group. They then will explain the process that you're going to take. So the Google Docs, they're going to be emailed out. You're then going to collect all the data and you're going to analyze it. So that's the procedure, the process that you're going to be taking within this topic. Now, the focus group, this is a collection of people. So I don't want you to be focusing all your attention on one collection of people. So one collection could be teenagers. Okay. A collection of people will be people put into a certain demographic. So I want you to choose people from all demographics. Okay. So from all races, genders, ages, jobs, anything you can think of, there's got to be a mixture of people within that. You're looking at about 10 people you want to be looking at for the focus group. So you need 10 responses within your questionnaire. Now, the focus group, within this section now, within section 4, I want you to actually state who these people are. Okay, who it is you're taking this questionnaire to. So you could say, I have asked people of 18 to 45-year-old. I've asked 3 people between that age group. I've asked 4 people between 45 and 60. And then I've asked 3 people between 60 and 85. Something like that. Okay, there's a mixture of genders, but also people that have different tastes in music, for instance, if you're doing the music one. You also, within this part, I want you to include and state within this part that you've included a business owner. Okay, because the main stakeholder in everything is a business holder, because they have a vested interest in a product, but they're not going to be the ones using it every single day. They're going to be selling it to the primary user who will come into their shop, buy that product, and then use that every day. So the stakeholder knows what they want, but they're not going to be using it. So I want you to have a reference to a business that is linked to your design brief. So if you are doing music, then maybe a link to a business, maybe a music venue. Find out who is the manager of the local music venue. Stick their name in. So for maybe the Guildford Boiler Room, stick the name of Pedro Smith. And then that's all you need to put in there. You're not actually going to send this out to them. Okay. Just make sure it's in there. They are the manager of the local music venue. They will have a vested interest in my product if you're doing music. You could also put in here how that business has helped the community, how it helps people with an interest within the design brief, within that area that you're focusing upon. Okay, so all that information needs to be put in there. The next part is the advantages. So there's many advantages of using a focus group. You need to stick in here just a summary of those advantages. Now, I would say the main advantage of using a focus group is that it gives you it's a quick and easy method. Okay, especially when you're doing it through Google Docs or Google Forms rather, because it will give you the email and it will send it back very quickly. And it will send it back very quickly. So you have the information instantly almost. You can review it and then you're able to gain a view of that stakeholder's opinion. They don't have a vested interest, as I said. Okay, they aren't going to be using it every day, but they do know what they're talking about with this. So their view on this is vital. You can ask within the focus group, you can ask more generalized questions. So these are things that maybe the primary user, when you ask them, didn't answer. So you can, because you were focusing on specifics within that interview, you can ask more general things here and get the answer to that. Exactly the same as the primary user interview, you're able to gain information that you will allow you to design and manufacture a product that fits the primary user and stakeholder requirements perfectly. Okay, that statement there, it's on the page later on, which I'll show you, but that statement is vital within this. Next part is section 6 of photos. So I'd like photos of the different people, shops, businesses that were sent this questionnaire. Okay, I want these photos to try and be within that situation. Okay, so I don't want a photo of Bobby playing football when he's being asked about music. Okay, it'd be nice if Bobby was playing his musical instrument when asked about a music questionnaire. Okay, it's got to be in situ. It's got to be in that situation that we were talking about. The reason why I want these photos in is that it gives the examiner a link. Right, so the examiner will kind of have a connection to your project if he knows who it is that you're designing this for. So you don't need a picture of every single person within that focus group. Do 5 or 6, 4 or 5. It's up to you. Okay, I want a minimum of 4 in there. Different pictures of people within this. Number 7, this is a very important part. So this is a link to the Google Docs questionnaire, so the Google Forms that you're going to be using to create this document. That needs to be stuck up there. You also need to explain why you're using Google Forms. Why is it an advantage? Okay, so when you create the Google Docs questionnaire, you've got the option to copy the link, okay, that you send out to people. That needs to go in here. The examiner can then look at this and see your results. So as well as seeing it on the page, he can see the document you've sent to people. I want you to briefly explain that Google Docs, Google Forms is a quick and easy method of gaining important and useful information that will result in replies being received within hours, minutes even. So there's no delay in project time. We don't have to go out to people. We don't have to wait for people to send their questionnaire back to us. We can do it almost instantly. It's fantastic. So that needs to stick up there. Number 8. So this is where we need to create. So we've created, the first thing we need to do before we start this page is to create the actual questionnaire. So the questionnaire gets created on Google Forms. Okay. You then, once you've got all the responses, pick 5 of those most important questions that you feel are the most important and stick those within this part here. I've gone through different types of questions that we could be looking at. So we could look at age, we could look at the genders, the interests, the problems encountered for this area, the price you're willing to pay for something like this, the materials that you want to be seen used in a product like this. Do they own specific products that relate to this? Okay, the capabilities that you want the product. So what does the product have to have within to make it a good product? Okay, all that can be answered within these stakeholder interviews. So you need to pick the 5 most important, stick the charts in here, and then you need to stick the analysis in here. So this is an example of what it needs to look like. You can see it's got the title. So you have the ability within Google Forms to just copy the chart. Okay, there's a button that says copy chart, and you can copy this whole section here. So you can copy the chart, the title, and also the key. So that just needs to be pasted into your coursework. You then need to have the analysis. Now, the analysis, you need to just summarize what it was you asked. So what it was within the questionnaire you ask. So for instance, this one here, my second question established the gender of the majority of my stakeholders. That's all it is. Okay, when you're looking at gender, an important thing to remember is that within the world today, we aren't just male and female. Okay, so think about people who maybe don't describe themselves as a male or a female. Okay, so some are non-binary, so you have things like that. You then need to sum up the results of that questionnaire. Okay, so the results of this questionnaire showed over 50% of my stakeholders are male. This is important as it shows that I either have to direct my product mainly at male work or making it more gender neutral. So that is there, the analysis. So that's what he has found from that question. So because the stakeholders, the majority of them are male, he's aiming this predominantly at a male market. Okay, so that is what the analysis shows you. How is it going to help you further on? The conclusion, this is just going to sum up those charts that you've just had, maybe some of the ones that you haven't included within this. Okay, so just a summary of the results. You don't need to give any analysis. You don't need to go deep into it. You can just state briefly how the analysis, what these questions have helped you with. Okay, how are they going to help you later on in the project? Next one is the next page. Next page is the product analysis. So here, this is where I will look into 6 different products that relate to my design brief and see if there is anything that I can take influence from. All that needs to go in that section there. I've put down, so as well as the help sheet, I've given you this little sort of what has to be. Okay, so this is more important than the help sheet you will get. So I'll give you this as well as the help sheet, but you need to be looking at all the information within this because this is vital for you to put into your coursework page. This part here is a step-by-step on how to create a questionnaire in Google Docs. So just in case you haven't used the process before, I've put down print screens of each stage and I've explained each one. Okay, so the circles around areas are the parts you need to be looking for when you're going through this. The Google Forms, you need to make sure you have about 8, maybe 10 questions. All of them are multiple choice, so they have to be a multiple choice question. I don't want to have any of people allowing people to give a feedback to it. It has to be multiple choice. Have maybe a minimum of 3 different responses where needed. Follow the link at the top of the page here. So top of the page, you have the Google link. That takes you straight to the Google Forms document. You then have the ability to send this out to people. Now, I want you to send this to your school email address. When you have it, you'll get a link like at the top here. Okay, so you'll have a link that says click on the link within your email. Now, although this is bad, you will represent your stakeholders now. So by clicking on this link, you can click on this link as many times as you want. So you don't need to be sending this out to every single one of your stakeholders. You can click on this link 10 times and fill in a selection of information on this. The examiner wants to know that you understand that you need to be doing this process. Okay, it doesn't really matter that you haven't actually gone out and done it. Okay, within today's world now, it's going to be even harder to be going out and asking people these questions. So the examiner just wants to see that you are aware that a focus group takes part maybe over Google Docs. You need to be using this process. He doesn't really mind that you've answered the questions yourself. I think he probably knows that people will be answering the questions themselves. So answer it as many times as you need to. So as many of your stakeholders, if you've got 10 stakeholders, answer it 10 times. You'll see on the next one, you have the responses. So the responses highlighted in black, that shows how many responses you have. All you need to do is click on that response and it shows you the pie chart down the bottom. Shows you a graph of the results. You need to click copy the chart in the top right of the result, and that will allow you to paste it onto your coursework page. Okay, it's as easy as that. That will take you literally 15 minutes to do. Okay, it's a very easy process, and this page is essentially quite easy. This is your help sheet that you'll be getting, as well as the more in-depth one, and I'll give that to you when we're in lesson, if you don't have it on here already. Right. Just want to say, in for Friday, sorry, I need to have all the pages as well as your primary user interview. I need to have for Friday, the primary user interview bringing with you, as well as an idea of what it is you need to be doing within the focus group. All right. So the focus group needs to be sorted on that Friday. We then need to be going into product analysis. So if you can have an idea of what it is you're going to be looking at other products wise, but that will be covered within the lesson on Friday, as well as the focus group. I'm not expecting you to be doing all of the focus group now. You focus your attention on the primary user interview, and just bear in mind that this is what we're doing when we come into the lesson on Friday. Okay, see you on Friday, guys. Bye-bye.